welcome to Inside Bio-IT. I'm Bridget Kotelly with the Bio-IT World Conference Expo, where science and technology converge to advance precision medicine. Today, I'm speaking with David Bernick, who is the Global Chief Operations Officer for AI/ML at GSK. Welcome, David.
Hi, how you guys doing?
Great, thank you. Thanks so much for taking the time to touch base with me today. I appreciate it.
No problem.
So just a few questions. I want to start off with kind of general. Tell me a little bit about your experience and the focus of your work at GSK. I know you've just been there for a few months, so.
I have been just there for a few months. My remit is called applied AI. It can mean whatever the heck we want it to mean, but right now, what it means is enablement, which is getting AI, both commercial stuff and stuff that we're doing, in the hands of people who can use it for real. It's everything from process optimization and automation, all the way through putting it directly in the hands of scientists. We're rolling out AI both in the desktop and the server layer for just about everything across the company right now. And as I said, my main job is to make sure that people are using it in a good way, whether that means safety or optimization or usefulness. It's to make people's days easier using these tools.
Sounds like a big job.
It's interesting.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about how GSK is thinking about the role of cloud in supporting AI at scale. Like, where does it work well? Where are you seeing limitations?
Yeah, we do most of our work, at least within the R&D group that I deal with, in the cloud, whether that means using the cloud-based LLMs that exist, or whether that means doing things in GCP and Azure. All of our workloads, big and small, are in there. It's everything from spinning up short-lived GPU stuff to large-scale batch computing, and in doing our research that way. We use a lot of Kubernetes, and we use a lot of infrastructure as code in order to facilitate that. We try to do as much as we can that way, and frankly, we use a lot of LLMs to build that stuff.
Mhm.
We're using it there too.
So when you started scaling up the capabilities, what were the first things that didn't hold up? Or was it infrastructure, data, processes, or something else?
Processes. I don't think people were fully ready for the speed in which these things build tools. So I think the speed of building the tools and then being able to deploy them from thought through testing to inception within 2 hours as opposed to weeks. The ideas of planning and planning to plan and meetings to plan go out the window when you can write a one pager and have it deliver the code of that one pager pretty darn well in an hour. So you can go from thought to real functional proof of concept to production level code in a tenth, or even less of the time than it used to be, and with less people. So now there's a sort of onslaught, not of slop, but of useful features coming at you fast, and the testing times and the validation times also have to compress with that, which means adding more, I'll call them bots, in the mix to help compress that time. So if I had to sum it up anyway, I'd say the time compression has changed things dramatically. And then the expectations around that time compression for everyone who has seen this in action have forced that change as well. So anyone who's seen this stuff and said, "Oh my gosh, you're able to produce this in an hour with a really um, well knowledgeable person, when this used to take weeks, and this is what we were built around the weeks planning, not around the hour planning."
Mhm.
Everything has to change around it, and it's all about time compression.
Yeah, yeah. It's pretty. It's a great problem to have, right? I mean, it's.
Yeah, yeah. Right, for me, it works out great. I think some other people have, the security folk and the testing folks have had that adjust to this timeline too. They're doing the job. It's a very different world than you do this thing and then you hand it to this person who evaluates it. Now it's your bot does this thing and their bot evaluates it, and you just
Yeah.
make a decision in the middle, and it's a very different speed and very different world.
Well, turning towards the big question that people always have around token and GPU costs, they can escalate pretty quickly with AI
Yeah,
workloads. How are
it's
you managing costs while enabling teams to experiment?
carefully. At some level, we have good limitations already baked in based on needs, and we have quotas that we can turn up and turn down. Which I think is kind of the way we've been doing it since the old, bare metal Linux clusters thing where you have quotas and you start out at a medium-sized one and you go up as needed. Um, you can see metrics per user, per workflow, per day, per whatever of how people are using things. The other part of it is that my team specifically is really engaged with users, and we've been asking for, as we roll out these tools very quickly, what are the war stories they can tell us about the value this brings to them? And then with that, with those sort of um, qualitative metrics, we'll call them, because they're not quantitative, we're able to turn up the volume very high on those users. We're like, yeah, I did this with just this little bit. Here's what I want to do with all this other stuff. And we say, good, gloves are off, limits are up, go do your thing, because this brings enormous value. And as long as you keep telling us the value it brings, we can easily justify the costs.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to hearing more next week at Bio-IT World, where you'll be giving your presentation and also chairing a session in the Cloud for AI and ML track. And looking forward to meeting you in person on site.
Yes.
What are you looking forward to at Bio-IT, or can you give us some thoughts on that?
Oh, I always like seeing the vendors, and I don't mean this in a flippant, snarky way. I've been doing some variant of Bio-IT since, like, I don't know, 2012 or something, and I was the original first programmer on Cambridge Computers Starfish. Like, I was the first guy. Like, I wrote most of the original code. Hopefully, none of that code exists anymore. Hopefully, it's way out the window. But so I've been in it since then. So I don't know what that was, 2008 or 2009.
Yeah, yeah.
And some of the vendors are still there, and some of the vendors aren't. Some of them are compressed with each other, and some of them aren't. They always pick up the trends. Like 2 years ago, everyone was saying AI, AI, AI. When I'd ask questions about it, actually know what they meant when they said it. And now I think they kind of do. And I think we're better judges about what that means. So I'm really interested to hear the real AI stories, not we wrapped an agent around Claude and called it an AI. But here's something really novel and interesting. I'm always interested in seeing, they say to my wife, who survived the year and he didn't. And that's part of it too.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah. So and seeing some of the same faces that we've seen for whatever amount of time it's been since I've been doing this.
Oh, great, great. Well, thank you for your time today, and I look
My
forward to
pleasure.
seeing you next week. And
Yeah,
hi,
ditto.
Brita. Take
All
care.
right. Bye.
Bye.